1966, a year no English football fan will ever forget, nor will they ever shut up about it. Yes, this was the one and only time England were World Cup champions, and since then it's been 40 plus years of hurt. The record since that wonderful day at Wembley has not been too impressive. After conquering Germany, a year later they lost to Scotland. When they tried to qualify for the World Cup again in the 70s, they failed twice, while other countries had no problem. And then the ones they did qualify for. The best they've ever managed since then has been the semi-final in Italia '90 and semi-final at Euro '96, when a now unified German side were able to win at Wembley this time. Yes, England's heart keeps on moaning about that one win and how they will try to reach those heights yet again, even though the record since then has been on par with countries such as Turkey, Morocco, Bulgaria. Not the countries people associate with football. It was probably the win itself that got people confused about England's glory in the tournament. You see, the '66 World Cup final was the first one ever broadcast on worldwide television. It was the first game ever broadcast in America, and in one of the most exciting finals ever, England proved itself to be the best football country in the world. And since then, it's been the English First Division and later Premier League that has bombarded television screens all around the world. While some people may argue whether or not the English league is the best, some people will say the Bundesliga, some people say La Liga, some people will say Serie A. But the Premier League is by far the most popular, and therefore people think England is the biggest soccer nation in the world. It's pretty good for a country that didn't think much about the world. You see, England didn't even bother to enter the World Cup until 1950, and when they did, they lost to the US. It was part of a very dark decade, which included wipeout wins by the magnificent Magyars of Hungary. And in general, England has not done well outside of the UK, nor do they like leaving the UK. Now, the Premier League is the best paying league in the world, so England's players don't really need to leave the country, and very few have. Which I think is the big problem. You see, really the only time England does leave, it is to play the major tournament. And that is the wrong time for bonding. Just as they go up for a big match, they find out, who did what in high school and who was sleeping with whose wife, and it tends to get a little messy, and maybe that's why England's players are distracted once they get onto the world stage. So instead of bonding on the flight between London and Kiev, England needs a good proper road trip. The type like good Canadian students may take in the UK. It's a lot of fun, pairing up with Australians and just getting drunk. So what the England team needs to do before Ukraine, they get on a plane and they go to America. We're not talking about New York, we're not talking about LA, we're talking about the heartland of America. They get on a plane for Chicago. We're not talking about a friendly against the Americans at Soldier Field. They go to Chicago and they get a bus. We're not talking some luxury coach, we're talking about a good old iron lung. And they go on the road, not an interstate, but the mother road, Route 66, or what's left of it. And they go to every small town there is, and they take on all comers. Pro sides, colleges, high schools. Heck, 11 guys want to get a side together to go up against the 3 Lions. Heck, go ahead and do it. It's not about the winning, it's about the bonding. And in between the games, they go through every drive-through and drive-in and truck stop they can find, and they take on all the food challenges. The waffles the size of, manhole covers. The hamburgers taller than the Empire State Building. And the steak challenges, where you basically have to eat a cow in half an hour. Or they may come back a few pounds heavier, but they will come back with memories that no trip could ever equal. Well, maybe those ones they can tell about. They certainly won't have to pay £300 for a prostitute. They can pay you a lot less for one, and do it in a teepee.